SETZER'S Camping. My name is Dakota Moss. Today we're going to be reviewing the Sundance 293 RL. Starting off here in the front of the unit, going to have your power tongue jack. Going to be your main or your up and down, as well as the light. Behind that's going to be your manual control in case you lose power. The jack is going to be inside here in that front compartment. Right behind that, you're going to have two 4.5 gallon propane tanks. Going to have two tanks here and a pressure regulator right there. So what that's going to do, you can have both tanks drawn at the same time or from one. We recommend only using the one unless it's going to be winter time. In the winter time, if one tank's going to be drawn empty overnight, you can switch it and have it draw from both. That way one runs out and the other one keeps the propane running. Now behind that, you're going to have a 12 volt deep cycle marine battery, which can control everything in the unit. Now right behind that, it's going to be your battery disconnect switch right here. What that's going to do is if you have that turned on, it's going to, or turned off, it's going to disconnect the battery. We recommend that you leave the battery connected, because if you're connected via shore power or power to your house, what that's going to do is it's going to trickle charge your battery. Then moving along to the back side here. Right here is going to be your first compartment. Inside of here is going to be several things. It's going to be your 50 amp power supply cord, as well as those jacks I was talking about. Access to the other side over there. In here as well is going to be an RV starter kit, and that starter kit is going to be several things. It's going to be a automatic pressure regulator, which is going to go in your garden hose. Anytime you put any kind of water into the unit, what you're going to use is that regulator via the black tank flush, city water connection, or freshwater fill. Also in there is going to be a stinky slinky or waste disposal tube. What you're going to do with that is you're going to connect to those spots down through there. Also in there is going to be a bio pouch. So what that bio pouch is going to do, if you add a couple ounces of that with 3 gallons of water and you put that directly into your toilet when it's empty, what it's going to do is it's going to start to break down any waste material that goes into the toilet. Now, coming along with that, and there's going to be a 2-ply toilet paper that's going to be in the RV starter kit. We recommend it's the only kind that you use inside the unit, because what that's going to do is going to help break down, and it's not going to coat any of your sensors in there, which is what the black tank flush will be for. Also in there is going to be a I actually believe that's going to be everything from there. So keep coming down here along the line. Up top going to be your furnace vent right here. Whenever you turn on your furnace inside, you'll hear that actuate, click, click, click. And then as it kicks on, you'll hear the whoosh, and you'll feel the heat coming out of there. It's going to be very hot. Right down from that is going to be your city water connection, as well as your black water tank flush. So the difference between these two, the city water connection, whenever you hook up to that, it's going to supply water to the unit through the water pump and bypass your fresh water tank holding. So if you have a full tank and you pull into a campground, you can hook up to the city water connection, and then you can use that water instead of the tank or the water you have on board. Your black tank flush, like I was saying, all that's going to do is it's going to hit those sensors that read the level that's inside your tank. That's not actually going to flush your tank, which is why we recommend that you use that bio pouch every time, as well as the 2-ply toilet paper. And whenever you do go to waste or fill up your dump your waste disposal, gray tanks and black tanks, fill up your tanks completely full for both, even if they're not empty, as what that's going to do is it's going to allow that material to come out of there easier and keep your tanks clean and keep you from having to do more maintenance in the future. Also with that, we recommend that you empty your black tanks first before you do your gray tanks, because whenever you empty your gray tank, what that's going to do is it's going to help flush out any leftover debris from the black water. Right here is going to be your low point drains. So what these two drains are going to do is whenever you go to winterize the unit, any water that's left over in the lines, you can open that and it's going to drain out the water from there. Above that is going to be a hookup for a hose, water hose outside. Right next to that is going to be hot water tank access. So this runs off of propane and it also runs off of electric. So whenever you turn on the propane switch inside, this here where you'll hear like with the furnace, click, 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 and then actuate with the heat coming out of this vent right here. If it doesn't, simply reset the switch, make sure your propane is on, and repeat the process. Up here is going to be the bypass valve for whenever you go to winterize the unit. So whenever you go to winterize, before you take off the cap down here, you're going to want to slowly, very slowly bleed the pressure off of this unit. So what that's going to do is it's going to release the air and allow this cap to come off without force. Also in here Actually, that's it. Now coming along here is going to be your slide out here. It's going to be where your kitchen is. For your tires, it's going to be a dual axles. So for these, we recommend they recommend every trip, or at least twice a year, that you check the tire pressure on these, as well as the lug nut torque. I recommend every trip that you take, check the tire pressure. For these, it's going to be 65 psi per tire, as well as 100 foot-pounds of torque per lug nut. So every time you have a hard brake or anything like that, they recommend that you do it every trip, just for safety's sake. Coming along back here, it's going to be a satellite auxiliary cable connection hookup, as well as your short power port, or your short power hookup, 50 amp right there. Now coming along here, one thing is going to be these little caps right here. You can pop these caps off, and what that's going to do is you can put that stinky slinky up inside of there, and now that way it's out of sight, and it smells out as well. Coming along here, you're going to have your spare tire back here, as well as a Furrion backup camera access that's sold separately, as well as the Lippert ladder connection. On the side of the unit in the rear, you're going to have your satellite auxiliary connection here, as well as a GFCI outlet. The reset for that's going to be located inside of your bathroom. Now right beneath that, it's going to be the extension and retraction for the stabilizers for this unit. So you're going to have one up front, you're going to have one in the rear. What this is going to do is just going to simply stabilize the unit and nothing else. Right here, it's going to be your potable water fill or fresh water fill. So whenever you put your water pressure regulator in there, and what that's going to do is it's going to completely fill your freshwater tanks. Now as you're filling your tanks, you want to always make sure that you keep an eye on the controls panel in there, make sure your levels aren't overfilling the tank. Coming along, you have your slide out, as well as an awning right here. Same thing on this side with the lug nuts. We have two outdoor speakers here, controlled via the zone by the stereo system inside. You're going to have your front entranceway here. Coming up to finish off the side of the camper, you're going to have your forward stabilizer, as well as the front compartment with access to the other side, as well as the inverted prep and your solar panel disconnect. These lights in here are also going to be motion controlled. And now that we're finished on the outside here, we're going to take you up to the roof, and then we're going to make our way inside. Now that we've made it up to the roof here, as you come along every year, I'm going to recommend at least twice a year. What you're going to do is come along and check all your seals. So it's going to be any of these seams along the front lining here, as well as around any of your PVC, satellite auxiliaries, around these as well. Any of your skylight, your venting. You're also going to want to check the slide out seals. So as you come along, you come along this side of your slide out here. Just going to check these gasket seals. It's going to be a little silicone caulking for that. Proflex clear is what we use, as well as on the corners. So this white is going to be a self-leveling lap-based sealant. And if you need to do any work along these corners here, the self-leveling lap sealant won't work, as what that does is it self-levels, so it will run down your sides. But you're going to use a black Proflex or any other color Proflex you want, and you can use that for those corners there as well. Just checking for any kind of bubbling, tears, anything like that. Come along and check this slide out seal as well. And now that we're done with the roof, we're going to take you inside. Now that we finish up the exterior and the roof, the first thing you notice whenever you first walk into the unit is going to be the main control panel here. So on this main control panel, you're going to have your slide out one, which is going to be on the passenger side. Slide out number two is going to be your driver's side. This is going to be your awning retract and retract. Watch your bracket arms as you fully extend these out. As you extend them, make sure you don't have anything in the way as well for the retraction. Make sure you're watching your bracket arms to make sure everything is clear. Now on this as well, you're going to have your water pump. So you just simply turn that on, your water pump kicks on. It's helpful to find your water pump as well. This here is going to be the water heater. You can run that off of LP gas or electric. This here is going to be your cabin lights and everything like that. Now continuing along, or also up here, it's going to be the main control panel like I was telling you outside. It's going to be for your black battery tanks, your fresh tank, gray tanks. So what that's going to do is tell you the levels like that. Now coming into this spacious area back here with the two slide outs out, I'm gonna have a nice little dining area here. Now with these dining area and everything in here, you're gonna have these blackout shades, which completely black out everything from the outside. Coming along too, you can also lower that table right there in case you want to have like a little extra bed space right there. Now coming along right here, you're gonna have a nice 2 USB jacks, as well as a recliner. So as you sit, there'll be a little handle here on the side. You just pop that out for some reclining, nice and comfy. Coming along here, gonna have additional storage above this back seating here. GFCI outlets down either side for any kind of electronics like that. Gonna have a nice mounted TV here as well as your IRV technology, Bluetooth control sound system, everything like that. You can use an HDMI ARC to plug in as well and do zone via outside or inside speakers. Underneath that's going to be your furnace. On those nice when it's nice and toasty, but you don't want to kick on the furnace, waste any of your gas, you can use that and just use any of the shore power like that. Moving on from the entertainment center and the fireplace down here, as you continue on into the kitchen, you're going to have these lovely wood panel storage. Nice deep storage for any of your dry goods, pantry goods here, as well as storage next to your microwave and down here. A nice full-size microwave built into the side of the island here. Down here you're going to have your propane stove. This runs off the propane tanks that are up the front of the unit. So whenever if you don't have any propane for whatever reason, just double check and make sure you make your propane zone outside. Now with this stove as well, it's going to be an industry first. Now underneath it here, you're going to see it's going to be an air fryer oven. So what that's going to do is it's going to make your oven into an air fryer, so you can cook anything in there the same way as you would in an air fryer, as well as having the stove capabilities and the flat top here. Now coming along, to go with that, you're going to have a nicely sized fridge and freezer area. This will run off of the unit battery up in the front. Nice little island area with plenty of storage up top as well. Up here as well, it's going to be your smoke alarm. Now we do recommend at least twice a year that you check those, check the batteries and everything, as well as the LP gas detector. This here is going to be your AC unit. So you're going to see on this, you're going to see these two little slots that you can move back and forth like so. So what that's going to do is when you have your AC on, it's going to blast the AC out of these vents right here if these are open. However, if these are closed like so, what that's going to do is it's going to blast them along the channels with those white pucks that are in the ceiling. That's going to blast cold air throughout your unit. Coming here along as well, up underneath, this here is going to be the fuse box for your breakers as well as all the fuse panels. So if you have a blown fuse or anything, you'll be able to come over here and see which fuse is blown. Now coming along here, this here is going to be your bedroom, or your bathroom, sorry. Nice and spacious in here. Plenty of room to stand, take a nice shower and everything. Up top, in case things get a little bit steamy, you're going to have a nice vent. So what you can do is you can open this like so, and then you can turn on the vent fan to vent any smells of steam. Now whenever you're done, you do want to make sure that you get that completely closed because you can't allow water into the camper via that. We do sell vent hoods that you can open your vent completely while at the same time being completely covered from wind or rain or anything. Now right here's going to be a nice little sink area. The GFCI outlet reset is going to be located here. Now coming out of the bathroom here. Right here is going to be one of the controls for your AC and your heat. So for that, you also have your fan function here. Fan high low, as well as your cool high low to set the temperature, as well as the heat. Now whenever the heat kicks on, it's going to be ran by your LP detector like I was saying outside. You want to make sure whenever you have that vent, if it starts to kick on, you'll feel that hot air coming out of there. It's going to be very hot, so make sure you keep an eye on that if you're getting near it. Coming in here into the master bedroom, it's going to be nice and spacious, plenty of storage for all your clothes and everything like that. It's going to have a nice little lighting up here above the bed in case you want to have the main lights off and do a little bit of reading as well. One of my favorite features There's going to be a secondary AC, heat, and fan control for the unit up here. Over there on the wall, you're going to notice you have an LCD mounting bracket in case you want to mount your TV on the wall there with a bracket, and satellite auxiliary controls there as well. Thank you for shopping here at SETZER'S Water Camping. This has been Sundance 293 RL.